I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. The reason why you haven't necessarily been making the changes that you've been wanting to make in your life, and you aren't necessarily living the life that you envision yourself living, is because you don't mind being the same person right now. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, like, no, I've been wanting to change and I've been making a change. Well, I hate to break it to you, bro. You actually don't want it bad enough, as corny as it sounds. Because if you did, you would have already made the change by now. And another reason why I say that is because I once heard a saying that once the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain or the thought of making a change, that's when you'll actually make a change. And so the reason why you haven't made the changes in your life is because the pain of you being who you are right now is not greater. It hasn't reached that threshold to the point where you're like, you know what? Enough is enough. I've had enough. Let's actually make a fucking change and not talk about it this time. And so until you get to that point to where the pain of who you are right now is greater than the pain or the thought of you wanting to become the person you've always wanted to become, until that pain is greater, you will never become that person or live that life that you've always wanted or that you've always envisioned. Because if that was the case, bro, you would have been going to the gym if you were tired of being fat. If that was the case, you would have been trying to get rich, or you would have been rich or wealthy by now if you were tired of being broke. You would have been having the dating life that you've always wanted to have if you were tired of having a non-existent dating life. If you were tired of being cooped up inside your fucking house and instead you go outside and you actually talk to some fucking girls. And I'm only saying this because I myself have realized this again as of recently. Because if you guys have been following me for a while, 3 years ago, I got tired of who I was and the situation I was in my life. And at that point, I decided it was finally time to make a change because I was all out of options. And so I did that. I got in better shape. I started to dress better. I started to work on my social skills. I started to have more of a positive mindset and a belief in myself and my abilities that I can become the person that I've always wanted to become and live the life or have the things that I've always envisioned myself having. But here I am 3 years later, finding myself in that same exact situation, because although I got myself out of that place the first time, I find myself again in this place the second time, because when I'm recording this video, it's July 2nd, which means we are at the exact halfway mark of 2025. And I'm going to be very honest with you, bro. The last 6 months, when I look back, this year has not turned out how I expected it to. I haven't done the things I've been wanting to do. I keep putting those things off. But more importantly, I'm not living how I want to live, and I'm not acting how I want to act. And so now I find myself at that point again to where I am genuinely sick and tired of the person that I am now. And so what do I have to do again for the second time? Is I have to actually not only say that I'm making a change, but I actually have to fucking go out and make the fucking change. Because if I don't, then I'm always going to be the same person. And if I'm always the same person, that directly means that the pain of me being the same has not reached that threshold that I was talking about to where I've actually wanted to make a fucking change. But right now, from how I'm feeling, it's reached that threshold. But obviously, words don't mean nothing without taking action. And so going into this second half of this year, I don't know about you, bro, but I know for fucking me, like, it's time that I make a fucking change and start doing some of the stuff that I've been putting off, such as trying to travel again, get my motorcycle license, get more fucking tattoos. Just small stuff like that. And obviously, those aren't necessarily the big changes that I want to see, but I know deep down if I actually start small and I focus on making the small changes like I did 3 years ago, I'm not only going to be a completely different person, but I'm going to live a completely different life so long as I stay consistent and I continuously, proactively work on making the changes that I've been wanting to make. And so until you also reach that point, bro, where you're tired, where you're actually tired of being fat, to where you're actually tired of being broke, to where you're actually tired of not getting any girls or being socially awkward, you will never make a change. And so until the pain of you remaining the same is greater than the pain or the thought of you wanting to actually make a change, you will never make a fucking change. With all that said, bro, I was trying to get ready at the same time while recording this video because I'm about to head to the gym right now because I'm tired of, one thing I'm tired of is how I look, but more importantly, how I function. And so I'm continuously, actively working on making a change. But like, comment, share, and subscribe, bro. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.